Hi Pokefans, Harry here, and welcome to my breakdown of the English version of the Aim to be a Pokemon Master theme song. Now, of course, we have been going over Ash Ketchum's last episode in the Pokemon series, and I have actually done a breakdown on all of them, so check them out if you haven't already. And now I am going to be going over the theme song of Ash's last series. I actually did a breakdown on the Japanese version when that first came out, so check that out if you haven't already. But now I am going to be breaking down the English version of this theme song, because it is a lot different. But before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get into the video. So, the opening shot of this theme song is Ash summoning his Unova team to thank them for travelling with him through the Unova region. Of course, once he finally gets back to Professor Oak's lab in the final episode of the black and white anime, of course, the episode The Dream Continues. And of course, to open this shot is just thematic that was the last episode in an anime, and this is the first shot in this theme song. Okay, the next shot we see is Ash at Professor Oak's lab reuniting with his old Pokemon. And this is when Ash and Go went to deliver a report to Professor Oak from Professor Cerise, and they found out from Professor Oak about Project Mu, which Go eventually later joined. And this is in the episode Advice to Go, and this is the first time Go meets Ash's old Pokemon, and it's the first time in a while in at least the Journey series where Ash reunites with his old Pokemon. It's just always a blast to see Ash's old Pokemon. And speaking of old Pokemon, then we see Ash and Ash Greninja hugging each other. And of course this is in the episode Facing the Needs of the Many, when Ash Greninja goes with Zygarde to stop the remnant vines that were created by Zygarde when it was under Team Flare's control, because of course Team Flare wanted to destroy the world and create a new one, basically just press reset. But of course Zygarde was stopping all the vines, but he needed Ash Greninja's help, as Ash Greninja could kind of sense them because of his Battle Bond ability. Of course, in one of the final episodes of the XY series, again, Facing the Needs of the Many. And sticking with Ash saying goodbye to Pokemon, we then see Ash saying goodbye to Lapras before it goes to live with its herd that it got split up from in the first episode we saw Lapras in, the Lost Lapras. But it goes to live with its herd, and this is the episode we see it in Viva Los Lapras. So it's just Ash having an emotional goodbye with Lapras. And arguably an even more emotional goodbye is the next goodbye we see of Ash saying goodbye to his Butterfree when it goes to be with the pink Butterfree in the episode Bye Bye Butterfree. And this is the first major release I think we see of a Pokemon of Ash. So it hit really hard there. And something I really wanted to see in the final episode of Ash's series is Ho-Oh, who we see in the next shot of Ash running after Ho-Oh from the Sinnoh League Victors theme song. So the first time in this theme song that we have a shot just from a theme song, of course being the Sinnoh League Victors theme song, the final anime in the Sinnoh arc of the anime. And then we get a shot of 4 Pokemon at the same time. So I'll start with Dracovish. We see Dracovish biting Ash's head after being chosen for the Kids Marine Athletic race in the episode in On Land, In Sea, and Into the Future. And this is the first major episode where Ash uses Dracovish for something. Then we see Ash hugging Kingler after it evolved and had defeated Manny's 3 Pokemon in the episode Round 1 Begin, of course the first time Ash ever competed in a Pokemon League. And then we see Dragonite tackling Ash after being so happy that she beat Iris's Haxorus in the episode In the Thrash of the Titans. It's just amazing to see Ash's Dragonite finally beat a fully evolved, I know Haxorus isn't pseudo-legendary, but it's almost so powerful it is. Defeating a Pokemon that one of Ash's companions had back in the past and just became so monstrously powerful. Evolving from an Axio to becoming a Haxorus is just so great to see Ash's Dragonite finally get some wins. And then we see Gengar eating Max soup, which actually enabled Gengar to Gigantamax in the episode The Winding Path to Greatness. And Gengar is eating this Max soup so it can Gigantamax instead of just Dynamaxing and becoming a big Gengar, just showing its full Gigantamax form. And next we see Ash sheltering with his 4 Kanto starters and Pidgeotto from a snowstorm in the episode Snow Way Out. And of course, he's sheltering with all of his Pokemon because they refused to go into their Pokeballs whilst Ash and Pikachu were out in the cold. So they were all warming each other up, and it was just a heartwarming moment. You can actually see Ash crying, not just in this theme song, but also in that episode, because it's just so emotional that Ash cares for his Pokemon so much. It also goes the other way as well, that they care for him deeply as well, and it's just such a sweet moment. And sticking with original Pokemon, we see Pidgeot carrying Ash and Pikachu on its back in the episode Pallet Party Panic, and this was shortly after it had evolved from a Pidgeotto, and they are like sort of flying into battle against an attacking Fearow. And this Fearow was actually evolved from the Spearow that Ash hit with a rock in the first episode of the Pokemon anime, Pokemon I Choose You. And this is kind of a big square off, like Pidgeot finally evolving and beating the first Pokemon that Ash sort of encountered is just a cool moment. And of course, Pidgeot returned in actually Ash's last episode, which I did a breakdown of, so check that out if you haven't already. It was a long time since we've seen Pidgeot, as Pallet Party Panic was the first episode of the Orange Islands arc of the anime, so that was a long time ago, so it was just amazing to see Pidgeot return. And then going into multiple shots at the same time again, we see 3 Pokemon. So first up is Palpitoad, and this is Ash congratulating Palpitoad after it had defeated Burgundy Stoutland in the Club Battle Tournament in the episode Reunion Battles in Nimbossa. And it was kind of a tournament where you go through. I think Ash got to the final round before he lost to Trip in that tournament, but this was Palpitoad, his first battle against Burgundy Stoutland shortly after Ash had caught it. And then we see Rowlet checking stones so it can learn Bullet Seed, but actually in the process of trying to learn Bullet Seed, it actually perfects Seed Bomb. And this is in the episode No Stone Unturned, where it actually perfects Seed Bomb by swallowing and then spitting out an Everstone, of course confirming and giving the reason why Ash's Rowlet never evolves, because he has an Everstone in his mouth all the time, apart from when he's using the move Seed Bomb. And from one grass type to another, we see Sceptile recovering in a cave with Ash after Ash and Sceptile got separated from the rest of the gang in the episode Cutting the Ties That Bind, and this was Sceptile sort of recovering after they had been attacked by Team Rocket, and also Sceptile learning how to use his moves again after being unable to use his moves after he got rejected by a Meganium, which he loved, but the Meganium actually loved the Tropius, and Sceptile stopped. Even though it evolved from Grovyle to Sceptile, it couldn't learn any of its moves, so this is another step. And actually, in this episode, Cutting the Ties That Bind, Sceptile relearned its moves and was able to use them after this episode. And then we see Ash throwing his Pokeballs into the air, just like the opening shot of this theme song. But this time, it is Carlos Pokemon uniting together as Ash prepares them for their 6 versus 6 battle against Sawyer in the episode Valuable Experience for All. And of course, this is Ash entering the semi-finals battle in one of his rivals, Sawyer, which is just a cool episode. And then we see Ash, Pikachu, Lycanroc, and Litten training, so Litten can use Flame Charge when him and Ash re-challenge the Masked Royale's Incineroar again in the episode pushing the fiery envelope. And this is when Litten, challenges the Masked Royale's Incineroar, but loses, and then re-challenges him, but I think loses again, unfortunately. And then we see Ash and Swaddle touching heads in the next shot, which is how Swaddles actually say hello. And this is after Ash adds Swaddle to his party in the episode Swaddle and Berg in Pinwheel Forest. And it's just a really cool moment because before this, Swaddle was just headbutting Ash whenever Ash tried to say hello to it. But this is Swaddle finally accepting Ash as his trainer in, of course, the episode Swaddle and Berg in Pinwheel Forest. We then see the original lineup of Ash's Kanto team. Of course, the 4 Kanto starters, Pidgeotto and Butterfree. And then we move on to another shot of an iconic Ash Pokemon, of course being his Charizard, beating Gary's Blastoise in the episode Can't Beat the Heat. And this episode marks the first time that Ash actually beats Gary, because before he had either tied with Gary, hadn't faced Gary in a league, or Gary had beaten him. But this is the first time Ash beats him in the Johto League, and it was just such a monumentous moment. And then we go to a shot of Muck catching Ash and Pikachu. And this is actually a continuation from the shot we saw earlier in this episode of Ash reuniting with his old Pokemon in the episode In Advice to Go, which of course this shot is from that episode. And Muck catches Ash and Pikachu after Ash's Tauros had knocked him into the air. Of course, Ash's 30 Tauros, of course, being very affectionate to him, but Muck managing to save him and Pikachu. And speaking of Pikachu, we then see him affectionately licking Ash as he carries Pikachu to the Viridian City Pokemon Center in the first episode of the Pokemon anime, Pokemon I Choose You. And of course, this is after Pikachu thunderbolted a flock of Spearow, but he was very heavily damaged from doing that. And Pikachu finally learns that Ash is his trainer and Ash cares for him deeply by Ash carrying Pikachu to the Viridian City Pokemon Center, and Pikachu reciprocates Ash's love by affectionately licking him. And then we see Ash reuniting with all of his old Pokemon again in the episode Advice to Go, and moving past that, we see another iconic Ash Pokemon, Ash's Infernape, and this is in the battle against Paul's Electivire, and this is the battle that Infernape actually beats Electivire for the first time, and also the first time Ash beats Paul, because before he had either lost or tied to Paul. But in this episode, battling a 4 in relations, Ash finally beats Paul, and it was just such a monumentous moment, especially for me, because this was the first league I saw as a child, and seeing Ash be kind of the smug rival, it was just so satisfying. And Infernape, this is one of the reasons why Infernape and also Electivire were cemented as as both of them being some of my favourite Pokemon of all time. And of course, the awesome battles don't stop there, as we see Ash's Mega Lucario battling B's Gigantamax Machamp. And this marks the first time that Ash and Pikachu beat Bee and her Pokemon in an episode. And this was the episode A Battle of Mega vs. Max. Of course, referring to Ash's awesome Mega Lucario and Bee's almost as awesome Gigantamax Machamp. No offense against Gigantamax Machamp, but Lucario, Ash's Mega Lucario just had such a cool aura about it. And you see it in just one shot of this theme song where it heats up an aura sphere and then fires it off. It's just so cool. And then going to maybe an even more hype battle is Ash Greninja using a full power Water Shuriken against Alan's Mega Charizard X's Blast Burn. Unfortunately, it does faint to this Blast Burn, but it was just so amazing to see Ash Greninja against Alan's Mega Charizard X in the episode down to the fiery finish. I really hoped that Ash Greninja would beat Alan's Pokemon, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way, and I think this is the only rival that Ash has never beaten. Ash has never beat Alan, so we really needed Ash to face Alan in the Aim to be a Pokemon Master series, but unfortunately we didn't get that rematch, so I think to date Alan is the only rival Ash has never beat, which makes this battle of Ash Greninja versus Mega Charizard X even more monumental. It's just amazing. And then we see Ash lifting his Pokeball into the air, which is a modernised version of the same scene from the original actually opening theme song, the Indigo League theme song, and that is just amazing. So from Ash's first theme song to Ash's last theme song, it just is a perfect bookend. And then to close out this theme song, we see photos of Ash with all of his companions, of course from the OG companions, Brock and Misty, to the last companions, not counting Aim to be a Pokemon Master, which was Brock and Misty again, but Go and Chloe. Again, I couldn't see what these photos were, like what episode they came from, apart from the Sinnoh one, which is when Ash, Brock and Dawn finally reach Lily of the Valley Island. They see it on the boat for Ash to finally enter the Sinnoh League. But with that all being said, the theme song closes with the Pokemon Ultimate Journeys logo over the photos. Again, I wish it would have had the Aim to be a Pokemon Master logo over the photos, rather than what we've seen for the past series, of course the Ultimate Journeys logo. But either way, it is cool to see a bookend to Ash's last ever theme song. And of course, the episode title reveal is the same one from Pokemon Ultimate Journeys. And again, the lyrics are the ones from Ash's first theme song, the Indigo League theme song. So it's a perfect bookend for Ash's last theme song to have the same lyrics as Ash's first theme song. And it just, I mean, even though I grew up with the Sinnoh League, that theme song is so iconic and it's just like such heartwarming to me. It's just so great to see it here, and it's just amazing. Again, I did a breakdown on the Japanese lyrics, which check that out if you haven't already. But that is everything for this video. This theme song was amazing, and it's just so many nods and winks to the past. And we will now be moving to the future with a completely new theme song, which I can't wait to dive into that soon for you guys. But that is just my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this theme song, and are you excited for Pokemon Horizons? And also, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe, and share it out, and I will see you in the next one.